How to get cited by Perplexity with pages that answer one question better than anyone else. What Perplexity's deep research launch changed about source selection. It can be accurate. Still, it can perform poorly. Perplexity's deep research launch on February 14, 2025, shows how a research mode can run multiple searches and produce a cited report after reading source material. Perplexity's announcement makes the point plainly. Stores need pages that support a conclusion and provide value. While using the right keyword, the shift also received practical analysis in Amply's coverage of citation visibility. A short retrieval may pull one fact from a listing, but research-style retrieval has a larger job. And it's not subtle. It has to gather evidence that can carry an explanation from the first sentence to the last. Without breaking the chain, research mode gives source quality more weight. That changes what store owners should publish. A product page can answer whether a merino wool base layer contains wool. A useful buying page can explain whether the garment suits cold weather hiking, show the facts behind that recommendation, and state where the recommendation stops. Take inspiration from the Alpine Merino 200 base layer. The opening should say that the garment suits cold weather hiking when the wearer needs a warm next-to-skin layer. During active movement. The supporting copy should explain fabric weight and care instructions, plus the conditions the brand has tested. Those details give Perplexity material it can use during a longer search. If fabric weight sits in a PDF, while the headline promises ultimate winter warmth, the system has to connect marketing language with evidence on its own. That gap makes a clean citation less likely because the conclusion depends on inference. A strong reference page keeps each major statement close to the specification that supports it. Someone asking whether the Alpine Merino 200 base layer works for a windy day above treeline should find the answer plus a clear material explanation and the limit of the claim without opening 5 tabs. Store owners should assign one verifiable buyer question to each substantial page. Put the answer near the top. Then arrange the supporting facts around it so a reader or answer engine can trace every important conclusion. Build pages that prove one buyer-facing answer. Deep research makes vague product copy a weak foundation for citation. Why a narrow question gives Perplexity a cleaner citation choice. A narrow question gives a page one obvious job. Compare how much does a cast iron skillet weigh with a broad cookware guide. It mentions skillet weight, seasoning. Stovetop compatibility, then cleaning. Both pages may contain the fact. Only one makes it easy to find and interpret. Specific pages create clearer citation decisions. A focused page can answer the shopper's wording directly. It can also state how the measurement was taken and explain what the weight means for lifting or storage. A broad guide asks the system to locate a small fact inside a larger buying journey. Consider a page for this 28L backpack. Its assigned question could be whether the bag fits as a personal item on common domestic flights. The page should state the pack dimensions. It should explain that airline limits differ, and tell shoppers to compare those measurements with the carrier's current rules before checkout. The page can describe the shoulder straps and laptop sleeve. Or it can explain the loading pattern when those details help answer the flight question. A long section on winter trekking serves a different decision. The reader came for carry-on fit. So give that decision the page. That's the purpose of the one-question test. Write the shopper's question above the draft before anyone writes the introduction. Remove any section that serves a separate decision, such as choosing a pack for an overnight trip when the assigned question concerns personal item sizing. Pages with one clear job are easier to review. The answer sits close to the evidence and source material. A reviewer can check the Harbor 28L hiking backpack's measurements against the claim in seconds. A sprawling guide creates several possible answers and weakens attribution. The test also helps small teams publish with discipline. Instead of turning one product brief into a 2,000-word article covering every use case, create a focused page for flight fit. Give other shopping questions their own pages when the evidence deserves separate treatment. A useful title might ask, does the Harbor 28L hiking backpack fit as a personal item? The first paragraph should answer it. Details about the opening and straps belong below the answer when they help the shopper decide. One page should settle one shopping question. Perplexity can cite a source cleanly when the source reaches the same conclusion as the query. How Perplexity can verify a claim before it cites the page. Perplexity can verify a claim when the route from statement to evidence is short. Think of that route as a proof path. The claim appears in ordinary text, and the supporting specification sits close enough for a reader to check it without searching the rest of the site. Every important claim needs a visible proof path. Product copy earns trust when it shows what a statement means under real buying conditions. Take a waterproof hiking boot page for the Ridgeway XCR boot. Waterproof needs a membrane rating or a stated test standard. The page should also identify the conditions the boot suits, such as wet day hikes on maintained paths. Because waterproof performance depends on how and where the boot is used, comfortable needs a physical explanation. It might use a padded collar and a measured midsole cushion thickness. Those details give the shopper something concrete to assess. The bare adjective leaves an answer engine with a promise it can repeat, but cannot inspect. Sentence-level precision keeps evidence attached to the claim. A stronger sentence could say, the Ridgeway XCR boot uses a 10,000 mm waterproof membrane tested under the manufacturer's stated hydrostatic method and suits wet trails with moderate exposure. The test reference should appear beside that sentence, along with an explanation of what the rating covers. Boundaries belong in the same passage. A supplement page should state the serving size and ingredient amount before discussing a performance result. If the claim applies only to healthy adults following a specific intake, that population and intake should be placed alongside the claim. Stores often lose citation opportunities when a strong statement appears in a headline while the specification sits inside an image or accordion, or inside a downloadable manual. Search systems can miss hidden evidence, and shoppers may stop reading before they reach it. Move the proof into visible HTML text near the claim. Name the material or test condition, and describe the situation that sets the boundary. A boot for muddy weekend trails needs different evidence from one designed for prolonged alpine snow. This creates fewer interpretive gaps. Perplexity can quote the statement, inspect its support, then attribute the conclusion to the store page without stretching what the product actually does. Write claims so the evidence sits beside them. Clear proof paths give answer engines a safe reason to cite the page. The page elements that help Perplexity quote the right passage. Readable structure improves citation accuracy. Perplexity works from passages it can connect to a shopper's question. Descriptive headings help. Short answer blocks do too. Each fact gets a recognizable role. Labeled specifications and nearby explanations add clarity. Is this ceramic chef's knife suitable for daily vegetable preparation? Gives an answer engine more useful context than performance or materials. Start with a direct answer. Keep it short. Put the decision first. Then support it with measurements and restrictions before moving to buying guidance. A ceramic chef's knife page could open with this. This ceramic chef's knife suits daily vegetable preparation because its lightweight blade handles routine slicing and chopping with ease. Little hand fatigue. Its 6-inch blade works well for onions and carrots as well as herbs. Ceramic can chip when twisted against bone or frozen food, so it's better suited to produce and boneless ingredients than heavy kitchen prep. The next section should explain why that answer holds up. Add the blade length and material under descriptive headings. Then explain the sharpening method and the care limitation where it matters. Someone comparing ceramic with stainless steel needs the practical consequence of each specification, such as easy slicing for produce or greater tolerance for twisting. Tables need surrounding context. A comparison table for office chairs might show a 17 to 21-inch seat height range and a 275-pound weight limit. But those cells don't mean much on their own. Explain that seat height is the distance from the floor to the cushion, and define adjustment range in the same section so a quoted passage keeps its meaning. An answer buried after 6 paragraphs of brand history gets ignored. even when the product facts are strong. Put the decision sentence near the top, then place the proof directly below it. Brand background can come later, once the shopper has the information needed to choose. Organize each item page around one buyer decision. Perplexity can then connect the question to the evidence in one readable path, while noting the limitation. Good structure does quiet work, which is why it's easy to overlook. What happens when brand facts conflict across the web?
Conflicting facts weaken citation confidence. Perplexity can surface several answers for the same SKU when dimensions, materials,
Warranty terms vary across sources, or care instructions differ. It may also quote the easiest wording, even when the preferred version appears on the store's own site. Run a single SKU audit. Before you rewrite broad sections of the catalog, start with one item. Then compare its store listing with the manufacturer specification sheet, a retailer listing, the shipping policy, and the help center. Record each mismatch in a simple worksheet with the exact wording, the URL, plus the date checked. Source claim to check. Example finding: store listing material, full grain leather; marketplace listing material, vegan leather. Care guidance: spot clean with a damp cloth, manufacturer sheet, warranty term, 2-year limited coverage, take a full grain. Leather tote as the working example. The store page describes the tote as full grain leather. A marketplace listing calls the same named item vegan leather. A shopper asking Perplexity whether the tote uses animal leather could receive either answer. It depends on the source selected. Answer engines often repeat the simplest conflicting statement because it has fewer conditions and shorter wording. That can create a business problem even when the accurate claim appears elsewhere. A vague marketplace sentence can outrank a carefully qualified materials section. It's easier to quote. Choose one business-owned source of truth for each specification. Update the first page shoppers see. Correct the marketplace record. Revise the help center when the same fact appears there. Add a dated revision note when a material or measurement changes. So archived references still explain why older wording remains. The audit often exposes an operating gap alongside the copy error. A supplier updates a specification. Merchandising changes the headline, and customer support keeps the older care instruction. Citation accuracy improves when one person owns the final fact set, and every public listing follows it. How to test whether a page earns citations from Perplexity. Citation testing requires repeatable questions. A single Perplexity search gives you a clue. But a fixed test set shows whether the page performs consistently. Save questions about product facts and comparisons. Then run them against the same URLs after meaningful edits. Use a standing desk page as the test case. Ask, what happens when we try adjusting it, step by step? What desktop width does the Oakline standing desk offer? Then ask, what height range does the Oakline standing desk support? And how do you feel about alternating between sitting and standing throughout the day? After that, check the motor noise claim. Run each question across separate sessions. Perplexity can assemble answers differently from one session to the next, so a favorable result deserves limited confidence. Record whether the page appears, which passage receives the citation, and whether that passage supports the exact claim in the answer. To learn more, visit heysprite.com today.